Samford fans, welcome into this week's edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up presented by Alabama Power. I'm John McAfoose, very happy to be joined by football head coach Chris Hatcher talking about the early signing period. Coach, I know it's been a busy week for you. I appreciate you stopping by.
Well, I appreciate you having me. It seems like it's been 8 years since we've been able to have this show, so I'm excited about talking football, Samford football that is, once again.
Well, before we get into everyone individually, let's just talk about the class as a whole. 7 signees, 3 on the offensive side, 4 defensive players. Just give us your overall thoughts on this early signing period class.
We're excited about the group that we brought in. Got a good mix of transfers and high school players that we brought in. It's been a very challenging year for recruiting due to the unknowns. You know, whether we were gonna play a season. They institute a new rule. Everybody gets a free pass, gets another year of eligibility. We have a lot of players that were graduating, so we had to do a lot of roster management to begin with to see what type of numbers we were going to have going into this particular signing day as well as the one in February.
Well, let's start with one of those transfers. You mentioned a grad transfer from Dartmouth, Seth Simmer, a defensive tackle, and really an incredible story. This is a guy that had a brain tumor a couple of years ago and then came back and played in every game for Dartmouth the past 2 years.
Well, he's a really good player in the Ivy League. He's a native Georgia guy, which, my home state, so I'm a little partial to some of those guys over there. But tremendous story, great person, great player. I tell you, we were very fortunate. We were able to get on him early. We evaluated him, early on in the process. We believe we got a steal in this guy, and we expect him to come in and be a big-time impact player anchoring down the middle of our defensive line.
2 defensive ends as well. Steward from Thompson High School. He's helped lead his team to back-to-back state championships, and then Jamal Thompson from Sarasota, Florida.
Well, again, we're excited about all of these guys, or we wouldn't have signed them. But Jamal, we have one of my former volunteer coaches was coaching down there, and he kind of got us on him. It's difficult because we haven't really met these guys face to face, and so we got great reviews. But he's a versatile player, played a lot of offense. We actually liked him as a tight end as well, but we expect him with his athleticism to do some really good things. And then Kobe, he's a winner, man, and his motor goes 1,000 miles an hour every single play. Local guy, knows how to get the job done in the trenches, so we're really excited about having him join the team as well.
You got a playmaker in the secondary as well, and safety Midnight Steward from Daphne, Alabama.
What a great name. And, he's a tremendous athlete, a really good basketball player. Again, he was a guy that garnered a lot of attention from bigger schools early on in the process. And Coach Cotton was his lead recruiter and was like a bulldog, just stayed on Midnight. And then the rest of the staff kind of jumped in there. We think, he's a guy that can, come in and with, some of the losses we've had at the defensive back position over last year, next fall, he's got a chance to come in and be another immediate impact player for us as well.
Let's move to the offensive side of the ball and another one of those grad transfers. This one from UAB, offensive lineman Patrick Ness, a guy who was a key part of their running attack last year.
Well, he was a guy that we had offered out of high school. And recruited him extremely hard, and I flat told him that he needed to be a Samford Bulldog, that going to UAB be the biggest mistake he ever made, and we laughed about it. And then, he decided to make a move, and I told him he should have listened to me the first time, but we're excited that we got Patrick. He's a good player, got a great family, again, another local guy, so that's an area that we're very young at right now on the offensive line. So having a seasoned veteran come in was a big get for us.
Speaking of local flavor, you've also got J.R. Trantorino, a Birmingham native from Briarwood Christian, spent his freshman season at Vanderbilt, but an athlete, he does a little bit of everything.
Well, he's going to probably start out at our H position that plays a little running back and the slot receiver. We were actually the first team to offer him coming out of high school. And then he chose, Vanderbilt over us. So I told him the same thing I told Ness. But sometimes it takes those guys a little longer to figure it out. But, he's a tremendous athlete. Again, another great family, another local guy. So we're very excited about his versatility. There's a lot of ways we can use him in our offensive scheme.
And we'll end with the quarterback, Michael McGinnis from Noonan, Georgia, a guy who threw for almost 6,000 yards as well as 50 touchdowns in his high school career.
Well, you know, that was a kind of a wild recruiting operation we had with him. His high school coach is a good friend of mine, and McGinnis had a lot of offers early on from Division I schools, Group of 5 schools. And Coach Steward actually is from his hometown, whom we just hired as our wide receiver coach. So, we got on him and we worked it, like you're supposed to do. And a sidebar for him is he's a tremendous baseball player. And, he's going to come here and attempt to do both of them. And we think he's good enough to do that. I know Coach Dunn's excited about him joining our team as well. But he's a terrific prospect. And we're excited again. I think that he has a chance to battle to be the QB of the future if he continues to grow and develop like I think he will.
Looking ahead to the February signing period, what are some of your needs and wants for that period?
Well, first of all, we're going to have 3 to 4-ish spots left after this particular period. And with our roster breakdown, we're looking at, 1 guy on offense and 2 to 3 more defensive players. We would like to get another lineman on offense and another lineman on the defensive side of the ball. Linebacker, we would like to try to get another linebacker, and then kind of a wild card spot, just best available, if you will. But that's kind of what we're hunting. The dynamics of recruiting have changed an awful lot, just strictly because people can't come on our campus and we can't go see them. And then with the new transfer rules that the NCAA has come out with, and we expect them to put into place after January, recruiting as we know it will be a totally different beast moving forward.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time as always, and I know we're all looking forward to the prospect of a spring football season.
Well, that'll be interesting, Jonathan. We're looking forward to playing some games. It seems like, again, a long time since we've been able to talk ball, and we hope everybody has a safe and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And our guys report back January the 10th. We got 2 weeks of training, 3 weeks of practice, and then February 20th. We're going to kick it off against East Tennessee State up in Johnson City, so we shall see.
Coach, appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Head coach Chris Hatcher, I'm John McAfoose. That'll do it for this edition of the Samford Sports Wrap-Up presented by Alabama Power.